welcome you all to the 35th edition of the Mysore Sport YouTube channel. Sports is a billion-dollar industry and it needs sports promoters and sports administrators. In order to excel in sport, you need good administrators to have control over the associations and conduct the activities. Today amongst us we have Sri Raian Irani, industrialist who is a sports lover, who is also a very avid golfer and a golf administrator who has been the IGU chairman during 2013 and 14. He has worked from the lowest level at the grassroots level promoting golf at JWGC Mysore and in the junior program with the South Zone Junior Golf at the IGU, and has given his best to the Indian golf scene. On behalf of the Mysore Sport YouTube channel, I welcome him for our 35th episode. Welcome to our chat show, Sri Irani.
Thank you so much, Murali. Namaskara, viewers, and thank you very much for having me on your show.
Yeah, Raian, coming back to the early days, your father, Sri Farooq Irani, very sports lover who promoted Ideal Java and started the industry, a very famous brand, and then he supported Ideal Java Football Club and Ideal Java Cricket, and then with your mother, the famous Srimati late Sheila Irani, who was an educationalist to the par excellence and also a philanthropist. Tell us about your early days and your upbringing. So, how was your love for sport?
Well, thank you for the introduction, Murali. Yes, we were exposed to sports at a very early age, and of course, those days in school, we never had a chance to come back to TV or to computers or laptops or iPads. So instead, everybody would go out and play a game. It could be anything. It could be cricket, it could be football, it could be cycling. So there was a lot of physical activity in all our years as growing up. I spent a lot of my time in boarding school, and of course there we had physical fitness exercises done early in the morning from 6 onwards.
In Ooty?
In Ooty, and then afternoon was compulsory games for everybody. And of course thoroughly enjoyed, and happy to say that during those years I played for the school team in both, not just both in hockey, cricket and football.
Great.
So I love being in the team sports and thoroughly enjoyed it. And of course, when on the holidays, I would come back here to Mysore, and in the evenings, the factory would come alive. When all the teams came out, there was football going on, there was a hockey team, and of course the cricket nets. And we had one of the greats of Karnataka cricket, Mr. Shafi Darisha,
correct,
who was working at the factory after his retirement. And he was such an enthusiastic cricketer. In fact, he used to bowl at the nets even into his 80s. You couldn't keep him away. And we used to see all of that. And of course, he was also a very, very avid golfer. And so was my father. He played very good golf as an amateur, at amateur level. And it was my mistake actually that those days we all thought that golf was actually an old man's game. So we never really took it up at that stage, in spite of Dad and Mr. Darisha telling me to come on, go out and play, but we never did that.
Okay.
And today I rue that, and I think that's one of the reasons why when I did start playing golf and fell in love with the game, that I thought I have to put back something into this game by attracting and getting youngsters to play the game early on in life before they missed out too much on that.
And tell us on your journey of how you took up to golf administration and promoting junior golf.
Well, after I learned to play, of course, we all would play. Mysore was still a fledgling place for golf, and I was very much there as golf began to grow in the city, and I got involved with the club which started here. Actually,
it was Browns.
It was Browns, and golf has been played on this golf course here dating back to 1906, which was introduced by the Maharaja of Mysore at that time. And it was promoted again very much so by His late Highness Shri Jayachamraja Warrior, and who instituted the Maharaja's Cup here in 1957. And you know, the tournaments used to take place, maybe 1 or 2 tournaments in the year, and then the Addicts tournaments came here. And in '63, I think it was, when the Maharaja handed over the Mysore Sports Club to the members to manage. And so the Mysore Sports Club took on the mantle of running golf over here. And this went on for a number of years, 2 decades almost. The race club was formed in '69, and sometime in about '79, when the sports club expressed its inability to conduct, that they couldn't conduct, they didn't have the resources. Incidentally, at that time, my father was the president of the sports club, as well as the chairman and senior steward at the race club. So what he did was that he asked the race club members to take on the responsibility of running golf. So this is what then the race club stepped in, and they started managing the golf course and conducting the tournaments, and things went on a little bit better, and the course was more available for play throughout the year, most of the year, except summer, I would say. And later on, in '85, of course, by then Dad had passed on. The JW, the race club, also stopped the golfing activity. So a number of 8 members, most of them golf club members, and a couple of others decided to form a new club and take this mantle on to conduct golfing, and JWGC was born. So I joined the JWGCs in '86, and as a youngster, of course, and slowly started playing and fell in love totally with the game. As I said, that's when I came to realize that I should have been playing that game as a youngster when my dad and Mr. Darisha was encouraging me. But I rued that time, but thoroughly enjoyed the game. And in fact, it was here in 1991 where we had conducted, I think it was the centenary of racing in Mysore, when Mr. Dilip Thomas was here, and we were having a long discussion on
the AVT group.
When the AVT, yes, of the AVT group, who is also a great promoter of golf in the country. And I asked him about what's happening in junior golf, etc. And later on, maybe, I think it was about '97, '98.
He was already in the IGU.
He was in the IGU, and he got me co-opted onto the junior committee. So I spent a good 10 years on the junior committee. And for the first few years, you know, I used to attend. There used to be just barely 2 tournaments in the south. And the remaining 8 or 9 categorized tournaments were held in the north. And one day we were sitting at Eagleton, and me and another good friend of mine and coach and a great golf thinker, Vijay Devecha, who's incidentally the coach of Anirban Lahiri. So we got discussing and why we were not seeing enough youngsters on the courses from the south. And everybody, the kids were coming from either Delhi or Calcutta or Chandigarh, and were spattering from, say, Mumbai. And the south zone had no representation at all. I mean, the only bright star was Rahul Ganapati in 2000, who won the
amateur.
All India Amateur, for the first time a South Indian winning it. And incidentally,
a Mysorean.
A Mysorean, and being the first South Indian. Which is really a proud, but the feather in the cap for that is actually to Rahul and his parents. Because those days there was no sort of infrastructure, or there was no system to develop a player pathway for a youngster to grow into this game.